Episode 1. In the opening scene, an unusual kid named Dorotabo was outcasted by a bunch of other children while farming. An occult detective named Inugami shows up from Tokyo after getting informed of the mutilated livestock in the area. He soon chooses Dorotabo to be his waiter at the Kanoka Villa, an inn where they live, and he introduces himself to Dorotabo in a rather friendly manner. Inugami informs the kid that his necklace is composed of a special material called limestone, and that he wasn't abandoned, so Dorotabo reveals his goal of finding his parents. That night, Dorotabo turns into a monster after one of the kids rips his necklace off, and Inugami revealed that he too was a supernatural being. As he reveals his supernatural identity to Dorotabo, he also tells him that his necklace was meant to keep his monstrous urges at bay. Yataro, the kid who was bullying Dorotabo, was running away when he gets attacked by animal-like ghouls. Dorotabo and Inugami kill these ghouls, and the detective reveals that he was hired to kill Dorotabo by the inn hostess who was his aunt. After the kid reveals his name to be Kabane, Inugami shoots him, knowing he'd revive, and takes him to his agency where he meets two other kids. Episode 2. Inugami introduces his young partners, Akira and Shiki, and invites Kabane to work with them as kimonoists. Shiki tries to bully Kabane that night, but only discovers his incredible regenerative ability. Later on, Inugami takes the kids to a house infested with the supernatural bugs called Sanshichu. Shiki tries to contain the bugs using his spiderweb silk but fails. Kabane then goes in and proves to be completely immune to the bugs' attacks as he saves the child at the center. Inugami reveals that Sanshichi attacked that family due to the guilt of a crime one of the kids committed. Before leaving the scene, Kabane asks if working with them would help him find his parents, and Inugami reassures him. Back at their base, Shiki and Kabane discuss about their individual parental situations, and Inugami informs a mysterious lady about their interesting new recruit. Episode 3. Inugami sends Shiki to take Kabane to Inari Yoko, a kitsune kimono and police superintendent who was the mysterious lady from the past episode. Akira, Shiki, and Kabane reach the Shinjuku police station, and they get approached by a weird girl named Kon who only took Kabane to Inari. She tricks Kabane by collecting his lifestone while Kon lops off his head. His head and body are taken away in separate compartments, and Inari orders Kon to deal with his friends. After Kon's disguise as Kabane fails, she attacks the duo using her flame powers. Shiki snatches the box with Kabane's head from her using his silk, and tosses his head towards her for Kabane to bite her. After taking Kon down, they realize the surrounding mess was all an illusion, and Kabane's body regrows from his head. Inari realizes she was tricked by Inugami when the life stone in her hand transforms into a weird doll. On their way back, the team encounter Kon again, and she was still determined to behead Kabane but ends up fainting after flaring up. A man visits their home that night, presumably to hire them for a job. Episode 4. The man hires them to gain information on a girl he's in love with. Inugami sends the kids, and Kon joins with hopes of getting Kabane's head after. They soon discover their client was possessed by a Nekomata and had been stacking rat corpses. Out of consideration for his fears, Inugami pulls Akira out of the mission, and the other kids later find their client's crush Mao in her feline form. After Kon catches Mao, the client confesses his love for her, and the team leaves the scene. Soon after, Akira and Kabane gets assigned to the Shibuya River to investigate the unnatural deaths occurring there. During the mission, Akira tells Kabane about her goal to find his twin brother, and reveals a bit of his past with the Amori clan. A frog kimono attacks Akira, who then gets saved by a tanuki sent by Inugami. Using a vial of blood, Kabane summons and fights off a bunch of frog kimono and gets rescued by the ice powers of Akira. Later on, a giant frog kimono thanks the tanuki for killing the rogue frog kimonos. Episode 5. Kabane was cleaning the hallway when he gets drawn into a secret room by a mysterious hand. Inugami walks into the room to meet him doing errands for Mihai, the vampire who runs the ICT division of the Inugami Strangeness Counseling Office. Inugami informs the kids about Mihai's eccentric nature and vast knowledge. Kabane later met and sparred with Kon, who has been abandoned by Inari. After beating her and consoling her, she took more of a liking to him. Later on, the kids spend time with Mihai and gets assigned to a case involving suicides by the vampire who now locked Inugami in his room. During the mission, they encounter mosquito kimonos named Kanonba, who suck the brains of their victims. Shiki gets saved from them by Mihai through his remote-controlled toy car, but Shiki was completely paralyzed in fear after the encounter. Speaking of fear, you don't have to, because by clicking that like and subscribe button, you're guaranteed regular doses of entertainment and protection from all forms of deadly kimonos. Episode 6. The next episode starts with a flash of Shiki's backstory, revealing his fear of scary things and how he clung to his mom. Shiki got taunted by Mihai, but later overcame his fear and defeated the villainous Kanonba. He was joined by Kabane and Akira, who had their own defeated Kanonba as well. And not long after, the big sister of the two defeated Kemono showed up and absorbed her own sisters. She overpowered Kabane, but after a pep talk from Mihai, he controlled his powers for the first time and ripped her apart using his overwhelming strength. They were soon approached by Inari's new attendant, Nobimaru, who incinerated the Kanonbas. Nobimaru warns Kabane of Inari's intentions for his lifestone and leaves. Later on, Kabane meets up with Gon and Shiki approach Inugami asking about his parents. Episode 7. Inugami and the kids embark on a journey to find Shiki's parents. While exploring Shiki's home city, they encounter a weird girl and soon after meet up with Shiki's uncle, Tademaru Akio. He reveals to Shiki that his parents were dead. Soon after, Nobimaru joins Kabane, Akira, and Shiki in the bathhouse, and the quartet later go firefly hunting in the dark forest. Shiki and the gang enter a room where his mother was once experimented in, and Nobimaru reveals that Tademaru was someone believed to use kimono for personal wealth and fame. Shiki remembers being tricked by his uncle after seeing his mother being tortured for gold and silk, and gets determined to kill Akio. Later on, Akio narrates to Inugami what led to him using his sister-in-law for money and eventually creating the all-healing golden webbing for his own gain. Inugami had been in contact with Shiki during the conversation, and the vengeful nephew grabs his uncle by the neck with a wad of silk. Episode 8. Shiki was still strangling his uncle when Akio's experimentally created kimono attacks the team. Shiki breaks down in tears after these monsters mimicked his mother and repeated the words, "I love you, Shiki." Kabane gets enraged and starts crushing them one by one. Nobimaru burns a couple to crisp, while the mysterious girl from earlier helps out Inugami and Akira. After destroying the monsters, Kabane offers Akio to Shiki on a platter of gold, but he refuses to kill him. The mysterious girl storms in and demands her cocoon from Akio. Akio withholds this information, but with Mihai and the Inugami squad's help, the girl now realizes where to find it and runs towards the river. Shiki enters the river in her stead and finds his mother Kumi wrapped in silk. When Shiki returns to the surface, the girl confirms his mother is still alive and reveals herself to be Aya Tademaru. The Inugami squad, now with Aya, takes the body of Kumi to a clinic owner named Ohana. Episode 9. Ohana diagnosed Kumi's condition to be psychological, one which she could fix. Shiki and Aya discuss at Kumi's bedside. Aya questioned him for not killing her with the other beasts, but he thanks her for saving his mom. As they continued bonding, Kumi wakes up and gives both of her kids a warm embrace. A week later, Shiki decides to stay with his family at the Ohana clinic, but later came back to the Inugami base with Aya, who was now working with Ohana at the clinic. Later on, Inugami sends Kabane to investigate a stream of horrific mutilations at Harajuku, accompanied by the two girls fighting for his heart, Aya and Kan. The trio soon encountered the kimono behind the attacks named Katanashi, whom of course was doing it for love. Kan flares up and attacks Aya out of jealousy, but Kabane protects her. Aya helps Katanashi look human like she wanted using her silk, and Kabane later consoles Kan. The two girls bicker over him in the final scene once again. Episode 10. Akira's twin brother asks a bunch of drunk stooges on the street about Inugami and freezes them after getting nothing. Akira runs away after a bunch of clumsy mistakes at the Inugami house and runs into his brother Yui. After the two reconnected during a stroll, Yui builds a giant castle of ice for his brother and locks him in. Reporters swarm the area, and just as Yui was about to freeze them all, Inugami storms in with the boys. Inugami explains his source of power being the Null Stone, which is pretty much a reverse of Kabane's Life Stone. The team realizes that he's Akira's brother and that he's keeping their partner prisoner. Akira follows Yui to a lower room in the castle where he sees Inugami, Kabane, and Shiki completely frozen. Episode 11. Akira breaks down at first but later realizes his friends were still alive. A flashback revealed how Akira was his only salvation during his hellish life at their snowy village. Kabane eventually bursted out of the ice and decided to fight Yui for Akira's freedom. Akira shows a hateful side of himself towards Kabane and protects him by taking Yui away. As Kabane tried to unfreeze the others, Inari shows up and convinces him to help her retrieve the Nullstone as it would help him in his quest to find his family as well. In another flashback, Yui saved Akira from the grueling chief duties of their village by sending him to Inugami, and he also ran away after the villagers betrayed him. Nobimaru appears and fights Yui in wolf form while Kabane makes his way to the scene. Episode 12. Kabane makes it to the place and saves Nobimaru from an ice attack. The two work together and overwhelm Yui. Nobimaru reveals that Yui was on the brink of death due to his use of the Null Stone. Kabane saves him by placing his Life Stone on the Null Stone, causing both of them to fuse together. Later on, Yui tells the team about how the Kemono Stones were forged after a supernatural war and how their wielders came from great Kemono heritage, including Kabane's parents. Inari sends Kon to steal Kabane's Kemono Stone, hence she accompanies him and Inugami to a trip to Shikoku to get more information about Kabane's parents. Remember to like and subscribe and stay hyped for our next video.